Right, we speak now with security expert Mike Ejiofor, who's the former director of Nigeria's State Security Service, DSS. He joins us from Abuja in Nigeria. Mr. Ejiofor, thank you so much for taking the time to speak to us. I wonder if you've heard from the official statements from government what the latest death toll is of these attacks that we mentioned. Some had put it at dozens, some are putting it in the hundreds. What are you hearing?
Well, there are conflicting figures, and I'm not in the position to confirm the number, but the fact remains that people who have been unjustly killed, and it's worrisome and disturbing. Like the Secretary General also opined, this should be condemned by all well-meaning people. It's worrisome, but I think this act of genocide, if you call, maybe if you will, because the way these people are going about killing innocent people without any aim or objective. If they were asking for acting on behalf, maybe political reasons, one can understand that. But this is just wickedness, and they're just killing people unnecessarily. I think with this designation of the bandits as terrorists, the government is now on the offensive in dealing decisively with them. And I think they are acting out of desperation and possibly looking at the effect of what government is having on them.
As you say, some would describe it as genocide. There's even evidence of a scorched earth policy that is being practiced by these bandits. People are being displaced. What is the wider picture here? How many people have been forced to flee some of these villages?
Yeah, people who have to flee the communities because of this series of attacks. If you recall that there are some people who have been in captivity ever since, school children, and they're targeting schools. Not only schools, they carry women, rape women, and just is senseless. And I think the new offensive by government after the designation is actually what is provoking the bandits or the terrorists, if you will call them that way, in taking this action. But I think with intensified efforts on part of government, we're going to witness a law in the activities, just like the governor and some of government officials have assured Nigerians that very soon people will be sleeping with their eyes closed. We just do hope that government will keep to its promise, because the primary purpose of government is welfare and security of the people.
Let's talk about the security of the people. We mentioned that you've been with DSS. Reports say the military have zeroed in on targets near the Gusami forest as well as Zamfara village. What would be involved in such operations, obviously without giving away the strategic aspects of such a military operation?
You see, the approach in the offensive now is tactical. If you recall that we were not able to deploy the Super Tucanos acquired by Nigeria because of the League Convention in the United States, which accused Nigeria of human rights abuse. But with this designation that these people are terrorists, the efforts is now more empowered to go on the offensive based on intelligence, get the exact location, bomb them out, and you see they move in motorcycles. So I believe that it should be intelligence driven, and more people, the time they move from their place, I think it's better that the efforts will go on them, coupled with the ground forces. Because if they go out and kidnap people, it becomes very difficult for the security forces to go after them because of to avoid the collateral damage and killing more innocent people. So I think we should be on the offensive, get them as they are moving out to this, and take a decisive action.
As you've mentioned, the criticism not only by the United States. States, but the President Muhammadu Buhari, has released a statement saying that some more equipment has been gathered by the military. And I'm wondering, where does it, will it help capacitate the military security forces in order to deal with these bandits, some of whom have carried out attacks that are so brazen that they are quite frankly embarrassing for your security forces, because it seems to be wholesale, done very quickly in multiple locations? And do the resources to buy some of this equipment, artillery, come from within, or is there support externally?
You see, banditry or terrorism is a global war that cannot be fought locally alone, even though we have our own peculiarities in Nigeria because of the local nature of the terrorists here. But I think with intensified collaboration with international donors and other countries who will supply equipment. You also recall that United States and some other foreign countries have been making donations in terms of technological equipment to Nigeria to assist Nigeria. So with all this, because the budgeting of the security budget will never be enough, we all understand that there's economic law everywhere. But because we have challenge of security, I think the government is setting its priority right by ensuring that security is maintained, because without security, there won't be any development.
But what has been the government's strengths here? Have they been able to develop any? In the recent attacks where we mentioned those targets in Gusami Forest and Samara village, it's been said that 2 leaders of the insurgents were killed. So I'm just wondering, who are they? And particularly with regards to the hierarchy of whatever insurgent group that they lead, is it an attack that can have an impact on these bandits regrouping?
Yeah, you can see the record from the defense headquarters that the bandits are also suffering a lot of casualties. It will not be the regulatory body on broadcast will not allow such pictures to be brought to the public. Those who are arrested will be prosecuted, but those who die in course of the work, that's the end of it. And I believe that, sincerely, the government is actually on the offensive now. I do believe that we'll record some huge successes to ensure that this reckless action of the bandits are brought to an end. We've been witnessing it for a very long time, and I think very soon, I'm very optimistic that the government will win the war.
We're just really trying to understand who are these entities. I mentioned in the introduction earlier on the increase in mass abductions, particularly since late 2020, that kidnapping has become somewhat of an enterprise in Nigeria. So somebody like Bello Turji, who himself has been involved with his gang of bandits in the last month raids of ground to air in forest-based camps. Who is he? Whose network is he part of? How big is this militant network as well? And who are they affiliated to? I think it's, for those who are not familiar with what's happening in Nigeria, the first word that slips off their tongue is Boko Haram. It's become the most notorious gang, but there are many other so-called jihadist Islamist entities that are part of these raids.
They started as bandits. Initially, government felt it was the issue of herdsmen and farmers, but it graduated to the bandits who were attacking innocent people. Then later, there's this speculation, although not been established, that there's a link between the people who have been displaced in the northeast, Maiduguri, Borno State, for instance. They are also coming up and linking up with the bandits here, and that makes it very worrisome. And I believe the intelligence agencies to have profiles on these people, and they have been established, the links among them. Although I don't have the exact information, but with this establishment and of the links between Boko Haram and the local, if you recall that there are two groups, Yabandiga, that were proscribed and that they were designated terrorist organization. So the government has sufficient information on these people and they are going after them. Like I said, the intelligence agencies are providing the necessary intelligence while the tactical approach is being intensified.
And as you say, the government has deliberately named some of these individuals and entities as terrorist groups deliberately ensuring that they can be persecuted under the Terrorism Prevention Act, and of course, including those that are supporting these groups. Thank you so much for speaking to us, sharing your insights. Security expert Mike Ejiofor, who is the former director of Nigeria's State Security Service, about those killings that have occurred in Nigeria.